The New York Giants have been in the news recently for a situation that confuses me a lot. So, this is One Take Thursday, where I record a video in one take and just put Madden gameplay behind it because either I don't think the topic is, interesting enough to do a full video on, or, I just don't have the time to do it, which that does happen. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the New York Giants and this Saquon Barkley situation. So, going into this offseason, the Giants had three looming contract extensions. One of them Daniel Jones, one of them Dexter Lawrence, and the other, that was nice. And the other, the man who just rushed for like 12 yards, Saquon Barkley. And two of those contracts have been signed. Daniel Jones got a 4-year, $160 million contract, and DeMarcus Lawrence himself got a pretty big contract, as the D lineman contracts are booming right now. Dexter Lawrence, I said DeMarcus Lawrence, Dexter Lawrence being one of those guys. That might happen like 2 more times. I'm bad with this shit. But yeah, and I want to just look at those contracts for a quick second. Because when you look at Daniel Jones, 4 years, $160 million, off rip, you're like, that's too much money. At least that's what I said. I said that's too much money. But then when you get into the brass tacks, the weeds of this contract, it really only hammers out to be a 2-year deal if the contract does not work. So there are $82 million in guarantees, and in year 1 of his 4-year deal, his cap hit is $21.7 million, with the $82 million being his dead cap number. Going on down to year 2, his cap hit is $45 million. See if I can. There we go. $45 million, with his dead cap number sitting at $63 million. And when I saw that damn near $20 million drop off in the dead cap money, that guaranteed money, you figure it's going to drop down $20 million per year. But it doesn't, as in year 3, his cap hit goes down to $39.5 million, but then his dead cap number, his cap hit goes down about $6 million, but his dead cap number drops from $63 million to $18 million. Essentially meaning, hey, if in 2 years this risky contract turns out to not work, we're going to cut you and save $20 million. And may I just add, this is not really relevant, but may I add, Daniel Jones' cap hit in year 4 is $56.5 million. I know the salary cap's going to go up before then, but there's no way in 4 years Daniel Jones' cap hit number is $56.5 million. There is just no way. But the reason why I'm talking about this and soon to be the Dexter Lawrence contract is that 2-year number. And just the fact that it really only is a 2-year contract, given the dead cap number being so small once year 3 is hit. And when you look at Dexter Lawrence, it's the same thing. And his contract has $46.5 million in guarantees. In year 2, that drops down to $39.8 million. And then in year 3, it drops all the way down to $19.4 million. So these are essentially 2-year deals with the potential to reach 4 years. And just to talk about the contracts, I like re-signing Daniel Jones. I think it's a massive number. I didn't like it initially, but then we get into the weeds. Okay, 2-year deal, not bad. And re-signing Dexter Lawrence makes sense to me. I mean, shit. You got that. I lose my train of thought every time something happens in this Madden game. But and then with Dexter Lawrence, you have Leonard Williams. You want to keep beefing up that D-line. I didn't mean to do that. He is your man. Come on. Danny Dimes didn't do that much last year. Come on now. But I get those contracts. They're kind of low risk considering they're 2-year deals. And guess what? They still have cap space next year. As in 2024, as of this current moment on June 15th, whatever day it is right now, they have $44.3 million in cap space for 2024, which is ranked 10th in the league. So after just over 4 minutes of talking, let's get to Saquon Barkley, because he's the man that did not get a contract or has not gotten a contract and was only offered the $10 million deal for a franchise tag. And he does not seem willing to sign that whatsoever. Not at all. He came out and was like, hey, this is unfair. I just want to be respected. And initially my thought was, here's another running back doing this thing. Fucking A, Devontae. But okay, here's another running back doing this thing. He said he's not afraid of sitting out the whole year. Here we go again. I'm a Steelers fan. This reminded me so much of Le'Veon Bell, it's not funny. But then you hear the words, he's not trying to break the running back market. And then when you look at what the Giants have been doing with contracts, to me it kind of points out, like, why isn't a deal done? This doesn't make much sense to me, because if it's only really a 2-year deal, because, okay, let me actually preface this with, I assume the massive concern is because of the injuries. In 2020 and 2021, he was hurt a bunch, and last year came back, played the full season, was great, yada yada. We all know that. And you can understand the idea of, okay, there are injury troubles, blah blah blah. But then when you look at, oh, that was an RPO, shit. But then when you look at just, he's not trying to break the running back market. Why doesn't a 2-year-ish, okay, why doesn't a 4-year contract that's really structured like a 2-year contract work for this guy? You assume even if he kind of falls off the way the running back stereotype is, he's still going to be worth it for 2 years. And if he's not trying to break the running back market, let's look at the guy that did break the running back market in Christian McCaffrey, who got $30 million guaranteed with a 4-year, $64 million deal. And when you look at the dead cap numbers, now we're like 3 years into this contract, so they're iffy. You know, it's been restructured, especially given the way the 49ers, how they operate. It's been restructured. It is iffy. But the dead cap number as of right now is sitting at $10 million. It's sitting at $10 million. His cap hit's very low because it's been restructured, but the next 2 years, it kind of hovers around $14 million. But his cap hit is just going to go down to like $6 mil. His dead cap hit is going to be $6 mil. Why can't something similar happen to Saquon? I don't get why. Even if he's not trying to break the running back market, I am fucking garbage. Jesus Christ. Even if he's not trying to break the running back market, we have that knowledge. So he's not looking for $64 million, and you could argue maybe he's not even looking for that $30 million guaranteed. Why can't a 2-year, $28 million fully guaranteed contract work? Why doesn't that make sense? Because to me, that makes a bunch of sense. Or even if it's, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Okay, good. Or even if it's a 4-year, $14 million per year deal, which adds up to 4-year, $56 million, with 28 in guarantees. Or even you match that 30 number with the massive chunk of dead cap being taken away in years 1 and 2. Why doesn't that work? And why are the Giants drawing the line right now? Because I get that this is the running back market. The team I'm playing, Las Vegas Raiders, just gave Josh fucking Jacobs, the league's leading rusher last year, the franchise tag. That's gross. That is gross. That's a bad thing. That's gross. But then when you look at it, you're like, okay, at least you kind of get it because the Raiders are not in a great cap space situation. They're paying Jimmy G, they're paying Hunter Renfrow, they're paying old buddy Devontae Adams, the guy who's fucking cooked me, Devontae Adams. They're paying Max Crosby, they're paying Chandler Jones. It's like, all right, they have a bunch of big contracts. They're strapped for cash. They don't think the running back position, especially with the way I assume Josh McDaniels wants to run his offense, is very valuable. And when you put it like that, it kind of makes sense. I can understand it as I disagree with it. I'm also not the GM of a pro football team, so who cares what I say, right? Compare that situation to the Giants. They only have 3 big contracts. Daniel Jones, which is essentially just a 2-year deal. Dexter Lawrence, not really a 2-year deal, but his cap hit in year 4 drops down from $19.4 million to $8.8 million, so kind of a 3-year deal. And Leonard Williams, who's kind of already nearing the end of his 3-year extension that he signed. I don't get why the line's being drawn in the sand right now with Saquon Barkley. And I fully get the frustrations that he has, as unless he's looking to which he says he's not trying to overtake the market, but we don't fully know. Unless he is like truly saying like, hey, give me $40 million guaranteed. Why doesn't this work, especially considering how the Giants ran their offense through Saquon last year? and they didn't add too great of receiver threats. I like the Isaiah Hodgins pickup. I love the Jalen Hyatt pickup. I love the John Michael Schmitz draft pick. Hell, I'll even shift over to the defense. Deonte Banks is an athletic freak. I think the Giants did a lot right this offseason and even got 2 potential franchise cornerstones on long contracts. And long term, that's all great. But looking at the short term, you want to win games next year. You want to keep taking that next step as they beat a 13-4 team in the wild card round. I don't get why Saquon can't see that same result of a 2-year-ish deal with, considering it won't be $30 million guaranteed, or it will be something similar maybe. They have cap space next year. I don't get why the Giants are keen on drawing the line in the sand with a team that relied on Saquon heavily, doesn't have a lot of big contracts, made the playoffs relying on Saquon Barkley heavily, and you're trying to take the next step as you didn't improve the wide receiver position this immense amount. I know they also got Darren Waller, pretty good pickup, but he's not, I know he doesn't have a big dead cap hit. He doesn't have a big cap hit this season. I don't get why Saquon is the guy that the line is drawn in the sand for. And before I keep running in circles, I think we all know that I'm going to lose this Madden game. I'm going to just call it right here and just reiterate that point. Saquon's the guy at least for one more season. Why can't a 2-year deal or a 4-year deal structured as a 2-year deal work out? 4 years, $56 million, $30 million guaranteed, and even taking away that $30 million or much of it during the first 2 years of the contract, or even just a 2-year, $28 million fully guaranteed deal. Why doesn't that work? Tell me in the comments, because I know YouTube comments are mean and probably didn't make it to this point, especially when they disagree with you. So tell me in the comments if you agree or disagree and have another point as to why. Thank you for watching this far. I did not think this video would reach 12 minutes. And yeah, have a great day.